Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
What's up guys, Xeno Gaming back here for the 5th episode of my 2018 career mode here in the Alfa Romeo Sauber F1 team. It's been up and down last few races, but we did score points in Spain, a couple of points, despite the issues with the gearbox. We've done some upgrading here for the Monaco Grand Prix and concerning the reliability, so hopefully that will be a big step in the right direction. Here is the weekend preview. As you can see, we've got some developments completed concerning reliability. Not too important for performance, but definitely important for reliability. It's a clean weekend for qualifying in the race, and you can see there the performance chart. Toro also making an upgrade, so they once again moving further away from us, which is never ideal, you know. But anyway, that's how it goes sometimes in the arms race, as we call it. And here we go, switching out the gearboxes, and this is the event gearbox, and then we would take one for the practice one as well. So a 5-place grid penalty is coming our way, unfortunately, but we couldn't use that event gearbox any longer. It was just too worn out, and you could see the problems we were having in Spain. So that's not an ideal start to the weekend here in Monaco. But anyway, also just fixing up the parts that I decided against upgrading after Spain. So just fixing those bits, and hopefully it is worthwhile to get these upgrades incoming now instead for the Canadian Grand Prix. Hopefully that will work nicely in our favour, as I always seem to take forever in making these decisions. But finally, yep, we upgrade that bit as well for the front wing cascades. And here's a quick look at the championship standings just before the race. Now we'll give it over to David Croft.
Welcome to Monaco for this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. It's a race that is truly steeped in history, but before the drivers turn their attention to winning, they first need to get through today's tricky practice session. Lowe's hairpin is the slowest corner of any track on the Formula One calendar. It's taken at just 48 kilometers an hour, but provides a stunning view on the first lap as the entire grid bunches up and tiptoes through the corner, hoping not to leave any carbon fibre parts behind.
This is such a tight bend that a special steering rack is used just to get around this very corner, as the cars would not normally be able to make the turn. There is the possibility of overtaking through Lowe's, but more often than not, you'll end up damaging your car.
Okay then, we've fitted some new parts for this session. Hopefully they'll help you squeeze a bit more pace from the car.
Thank you, Jeff, for that, and thank you,
Good
Crofty.
day today. Tell us about it from your perspective.
Not ideal editing there, but anyway,
You put
now
in
we've
a
got
lot
an
of
interview
time
with
on the
Claire.
track today. Was
And,
there a reason for this?
Here we go with this interview, but all the practice programs were fine, and now I think this is, I believe, is after practice 3, doing an interview with Claire.
How's your grid penalty going to affect your strategy going into the race?
Well, affecting the strategy will not be ideal, of course.
Appreciate your time.
It's going to be a tough one, having to start further back from where we normally would. Considering we can actually get out of Q1, we might have a tough time of it trying to overtake cars. But anyway, now we move on to qualifying here for the Monaco Grand Prix. Here is the first run in Q1 on the Hypersoft tyres, going soft on the tyres. Just going to use all the Hypersofts, got 4 sets available for qualifying as we go over the line. So at 111.4. Now we will do a cool down lap, as I like to do, just just recharge the battery a bit, save some fuel. And then on the second run we got a really much better exit out of the final corner. We're actually down the whole lap, and just to come across the line, we just improved slightly to a 111.381. So slight improvement, but an improvement is an improvement. And now towards the end of the session, we come around for our last lap on the Hypersofts, as we have a massive improvement and go into the 110s to survive Q1 in Monaco and go and finish Q1 in 11th place. So Romano on the ball there as the Red Bull glitches out of the pit lane somehow, which is quite funny. But as you can see here in the results page, Kevin Magnussen has picked up a 5th place grid penalty for some sort of incident that I don't know about. Not sure quite what he did, but he's picked up 5 places. So Van Dorn, Gasly, Hartley, Stroll, Sorokin all eliminated from Q1 around Monaco, so it's going to be a tough weekend for those guys, starting well and truly at the back of the grid. And yeah, so we're quite a bit of ways ahead of our teammate for Q1, which is quite good for the confidence. And as you can see, Magnussen actually had a collision with Ricciardo, which would result in a grid penalty. Now we move on to Q2 here. We're actually following Lewis Hamilton, but this is our first hot lap in Q2, and we go into the barrier.
You have a lot of wing damage. Box for a new one.
Losing a front wing element there, so that ruins our first hot lap in Q2 as we let the McLaren go through. And not an ideal way to start Q2, because now that limits us to probably being a bit more cautious on our second lap instead of being more aggressive. But now here we go, start our next run in Q2 right on the brace into turn 1, 4th gear, using up all the space on the exit. Now on the run to the Casino Square, right, left, right, as we're going to open up the angle as much as possible. 4th gear for a turn in and cape it, and 4th Casino. Just watch the rear end on that corner. It's really tricky to get the power down. Back to 2nd gear for Merribo. Really tricky corner as now we go into the lows, hairpin, really slowest corner of the 1st gear, 2nd gear. All this section really slow, low speed. Really important to have that chassis grip, I guess. A good chassis working around here. Now through the tunnel, one of the most exciting parts of the year. And braking, just aiming to just miss that barrier to hit that apex nicely. Now through to back, one of the best corners in Formula 1. Just using all the road there, hit that nicely. Through the swing, quite easy. A bit of a contact with the wall. See the rear end absolutely slowing out and messing up the final part of this lap, which is not ideal for the lap time. Romano now coming through the last corner, just missed the barrier to hit that apex nicely as he comes across the line. Chris Romano to set a 1:11, I believe. Maybe it was a 10:9. I'm not quite sure, but that will only be P13 for Chris Romano. But however, Romano does outqualify his teammate Charles Leclerc, the Monegascan, for his home Grand Prix, and it was a 1:10.9. Nico Hulkenberg would pick up a 5th place grid penalty, but it's Esteban Ocon, Romano, Leclerc, and Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz as well, that will be eliminated. And you can see Vettel got terminal damage, Verstappen got terminal damage, and Hulkenberg must have caused it all and copped a grid penalty. So that's what happened there. So Verstappen will start 10th, Vettel 15th, and Hulkenberg actually Verstappen probably start 9th because of the grid penalty for Hulkenberg, but we'll see that just about now as we head to the David Croft for the race introduction.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars climb around 40 metres up through Beau Rivage, onto the casino, and then descending down towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners here, 7 to the left and 11 to the right. There's one single DRS zone as well, so don't expect that to make overtaking any easier today. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Let's talk about Ferrari. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, and Perez, Grosjean, Verstappen, Sainz, and Nico Hülkenberg, Ocon, Magnussen, Charles Leclerc and Vettel, Van Dorn, Hartley, the captain, and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin, and Pierre Gasly rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
No heroics into Saint-Devote, please. We're in amongst the pack and just need to stay in one piece.
Welcome to the 2018 Monaco Grand Prix. Here we have Chris Romano starting from 17th on the grid after qualifying 13th. However, taking 5 place grid drops into 17th. Pretty sure it's only 17th because Gasly had a penalty as well to take, so got a bit fortunate there. But here we go for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. Five red lights, you can just feel the anticipation now. Toughest circuit of the year is go. And a good start for Romano here, as you can see, straight away onto the back of Van Dorn and down the inside, very aggressive into turn 1 from Romano. He's alongside with Sebastian Vettel, the 4-time world champion. Vettel wins out on this occasion, as he would in the Ferrari, and you would expect. Now just following, because there's not much, nowhere really to go here around Monaco. You just got to follow. There's not really much avenue. We get a good run out of the Casino Square and down into Mirabeau, diving up the inside of not only Vettel, but get alongside Magnussen, able to get past him just before we go into the slows hairpin, which is really slow, especially in the first lap as the AOS seem to check up. So just being really careful with the front wing, not wanting to get any damage, and take that cautious approach that you would expect from the Australian here in Romano, chasing his Monegascan teammate in Charles Leclerc. As it's a good start from Romano, 17th to 13th in this opening lap. So really a good way to start his Monaco Grand Prix. And now we move on to lap 5 here, and you can see the train that is developed here, as Romano is now all over the back of his teammate, who's incidentally all over the back of Hülkenberg. So quite a train from about P13 up Big O, really. 2 laps later, you can see the Leclerc's really no one in front of him anymore, and we've got the pace over him. It seems a few guys have pitted as we're now into P3 and P4 respectively, but we just open up the angle here of Rasgas, and we're able to get the run now through Anthony's nose. We're all over the back of our teammate, use DRS, overtake DRS, and Romano now will seize an opportunity to pass his teammate in Monaco. Leclerc locks up into turn 1, and that is Romano through into P3 now, and he's now chasing after Esteban Ocon at the start of lap 8, and by the time it gets to lap 12, here we go, Romano has caught the back of Ocon. He's got great pace here today. His race pace has been fantastic around this Monaco GP circuit, and once again just opening up that corner to optimise his exit and run onto the straight here at Monaco, coming out of the Anthony Nose corner. Once again, they're very much a mirror image to move to Leclerc down the inside. Ocon makes a mistake, and Romano is through on the start of lap 13, and now he's got that
Great manoeuvre. You made it look easy.
Thanks, Jeff, to Carlos Sainz, but we weren't really making
The
too
gap
much
behind us is 4.5 seconds.
As you can see here, there's a mistake, and Romano has broken the front wing.
Be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage.
Thanks, Jeff. As you can see, I made a mistake by putting the car into neutral, and that unfortunately meant the front wing would be damaged, but it didn't really affect us too much. It maybe cost us a tenth or two a lap, not a whole lot. And you can see we after everyone pitted, we got back into P2, and the top guys all did 2-stop strategies, and Carlos, myself, my teammate Ocon, Sebastian Vettel as well, we all did the 1-stop, and that has paid off tremendously for us today, because we all know track position is king here at Monaco, and I know I've skipped from lap 19 to lap 39 here, but that is because nothing has occurred. We've just been driving about 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds behind Sainz and losing time to him, about 4 seconds ahead of Ocon. This is the closest Ocon got to us. Before this lap, he was about 2 seconds behind us, and you can see I've just got it in lane and none on the ERS, so just really conserving the car because I know there's no way through. So Carlos Sainz would win the Monaco Grand Prix for his first career win. Chris Romano would come home in second for his first career podium. Likewise, P3 for Esteban
Nice
Ocon
work, you did well today. I think the boss will be happy with that one.
Podium. So unbelievable result. Renault win their second consecutive Grand Prix, and now we'll hand it over to David Croft.
And a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Renault. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Renault team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their drivers walk out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team.
So congratulations to Carlos Sainz and the Renault F1 team. They've done a fantastic job here today at Monaco, starting from 9th place on the grid to win the Monaco Grand Prix. Just really track position is king, as I said before. We'll go back to Crofty real quick here. I'm pretty sure they're going to speak again, which is quite annoying. But anyway...
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the captain. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula 1.
On to the constructors then. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the championship. Another team that will be satisfied with this Grand Prix is Sauber, whose good results moves them further up the championship. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula 1 season.
So Carlos Sainz, the winner of the Monaco Grand Prix, Romano 2nd, Ocon 3rd, Ricciardo 4th, Raikkonen 5th, Vettel 6th, Bottas 7th, Leclerc 8th, Van Dorn 9th, and Stroll brings home the final point for the Williams Formula 1 team. From my point of view, quite a actually easy race, apart from the opening where we had to make the moves on obviously Vettel, Magnussen on the first lap, and then lap 5 on Leclerc, lap 12 on Ocon. That was really it for us. After that, there was not much action. And then on course lap 19, the front wing, I broke it. Maybe if I don't break it, maybe there's a chance to close Carlos up. But even before the pit stops, he probably was a bit too quick in the Renault. But the only difference that by breaking that front wing is it meant that Ocon catched us up at the end. But by about lap 30, he was about 4 seconds behind us, and that never really changed. But anyway, here's that interview with Claire.
Today. How do you think it went? You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy?
Strategy was a one-stop, and the one-stop worked really well compared to everyone doing the two stops. And it really where it worked is because we pitted and I got past Leclerc, and then Ricciardo came up behind Leclerc, and we were pulling away from Leclerc
like you had a really good strategy for the race.
That's where it worked out really well. And she pretty much asked us the same question, but yeah, I'm just saying, all the top guys got stuck behind Charles.
Things looked close between you and your rival for a bit, but you came out on top, didn't you?
So that's where it went pear-shaped for the top flight guys, and I'm not sure what happened to Hamilton, Verstappen finishing out to the 10.
You're surpassing
I
all
guess
expectations.
they just got stuck as well behind other cars further down the order, which is unfortunate for them. And no, nothing can can stop this freight train running through, but it's important to increase the sportsmanship, so that's what we select there. So yeah, now into the post-race adventures we go to, and as you can see, I'm pretty sure we would win the rivalry against Leclerc here now, which is good for us, and it's a good start to beat your teammate. That's always the number one goal when you're racing in Formula 1, so beating your teammate in the first rivalry is a quite important start, and Leclerc's a tough driver, so it's quite a good place to start and earn that potential respect with him and on the game. I wish I would click these screens a bit quicker so I don't have to sit here waiting. Anyway, here we go to the resource points we would collect from the weekend, which is always quite handy, and we beat our team goal. We'd get quite a fair chunk of reputation, especially from Sauber. Just think all around good weekend when you get your
fantastic podium. Well done. Keep pushing like this for the rest of the season.
So when you get your first podium, it's quite a big increase of all the jumps, and now we would just from all the resource points.
You hit your last team goal. Well done. That should get the team a nice boost to their development, and it won't hurt when it comes to your next contract review either.
Thank you, Emma, for interrupting me rudely again. But anyway, it's quite important. The resource points we got from that Monaco Grand Prix, the podium, is very, very helpful, and we can go into upgrading some parts for the next race in Montreal. We would do some reliability parts because durability is quite important, and I don't want to be taking too many grid penalties. We're going to have to take some for this season because 2 and 3 components just aren't enough to really eke out over the course of a 21 race season. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, and we're going to have to really upgrade these areas and of the performance tree. So we'd get a quick look here at the championship standings. Vettel's lead has been cut down to 7 points by Kimi Räikkönen, who had a stronger Grand Prix, and Ferrari have got quite a gap to Mercedes in the performance charts, despite the fact that Mercedes right now are quicker. They've got quite a lead on them in the Constructors' Championship, and Red Bull aren't that far behind Mercedes. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Please leave a like, comment your feedback down in the comment section below, and most importantly, subscribe. So see you next time.